It's the same for backhand. Your non-playing arm is crucial for forehand. It's, of course, crucial for backhand too. You can't possibly see someone's backhand looking like this. As we've mentioned before, you must experience bilateral force in backhand. Bilateral force, let's go. We have enough time. Have you heard of bilateral force? For both forehand and backhand, especially for backhand. For forehand, if you don't use both sides, your forehand alone on this side might be okay. But if you just hug yourself like this for forehand, you can somewhat generate power from your body. But if your backhand side doesn't generate force, and you always play like this, your backhand will definitely be unstable and lack quality. So, what is bilateral force? When you want to project power outward, I definitely cannot be isolated, with only this arm doing the work, and completely ignoring this arm. In the beginner stage, when you're just learning the motion, just trying to get the ball on the table, not playing any serious matches, you can practice like that. But first, when you want to find rhythm, second, when you want to produce quality, this arm must also generate force. You cannot just focus on the motion on this side. So, what is non-playing arm force? It's simple. First, don't just swing your arm back. First, you must understand, bilateral force is actually built upon your body and proper arm usage. Only then can you experience bilateral. This isn't bilateral. I'm not telling you to force bilateral movement like this. Relying solely on this is not very useful. What we need to find is this. First, you must find the feeling of your body pulling your arm in. Look, for backhand, you must find this feeling. I'm not saying my technique is like this, that I just leave it here. I want both arms engaged like this. See? Power doesn't come from nowhere. You must store energy before you can release it, right? So, during the process of coiling in, you must find the feeling of both sides coming in. During the process of exerting force, bilateral force isn't just about the arms. It's related to here as well. It's also a process involving the thoracic spine. After coiling in, I find the feeling of projecting out from both sides. When I drive, it can be smaller. Look, when driving, it's about this much. How much does my playing arm do? My non-playing arm mirrors that amount. For example, in a loop, we look for that feeling. It helps your power become more coordinated. Know what? My arm must not be like this. Hands must not do this. And then there's the backhand. This arm just hangs behind, not doing anything. If you do this, your power generation will be uncoordinated. You must find the feeling of projecting from both sides. When you want more quality, when you want to exert more force, you must stretch apart more from both sides. Your power will be greater. Okay, my backhand rubber hasn't been changed. But hitting this high ball shouldn't be a problem. Okay, watch closely. Backhand power is absolutely not just from here to here. High ball, please. Backhand power is definitely not just this. It's definitely not just my playing side going through this single motion. If that's the case, my whole body becomes uncoordinated. As I said before, this action has a certain size. Watch how much this side stretches out. I need to find this feeling. I need to find this feeling. Then my overall power generation becomes smoother. And I can better utilize my body's strength. Now, watch me do a couple more. What's it like when I add, even when I add my body? Even if I add my body. Even if I add my body, it's still like this. Even adding that, it's still just this. That's all. That's the quality limit. But look when I add this. Just like we talked about before with external rotation. I told you to find external rotation. Is it just this side rotating? It must involve both sides. When you loop backhand, it's also about stretching both sides. Let me show you a couple. See what quality stretching out produces. Look at the quality when I stretch out. Can you see the difference? When I add this versus when I don't, it's a massive difference. My backhand uses a 42-degree blue sponge hurricane. A 42 degree, and I can generate this power. because I realize it's not about the rubber here. I was afraid I couldn't loop with this side, but with a 42-degree hurricane on this side, I can produce this quality, right? No, the difference is huge. One is with this added, one is with both sides engaged. Many people understand power generation like this. For my side spin, I just do this. But look, is it right? First, is there any coordination? You must find the feeling of both sides contributing. It's the same when driving. When driving, it helps you find coordination. It helps you find coordination between both sides. You must not be like this when you drive. Don't drive like this. If you don't add this, it's harder to find the feeling of using your body. If you don't add this, it's not easy to find that body feeling. Just doing this alone, it's hard to connect with your body. You're just like this. Add this, move together. Watch, can you see? It's very small. Very small, both sides projecting out together. But it helps your overall coordination. Many coaches say, does this kid have talent? Sometimes they look at a kid, watch this kid play forehand and backhand. What do they look for? 1. Can they produce quality, right? But for kids in professional teams, they can definitely produce quality. 2. Maybe they look at technique. What actually, they don't focus too much on technique. What's the main thing they look for? It's one word, fluency. Just being able to get the ball on the table doesn't mean you're fluent. If you're not fluent, your technique framework won't develop later. I don't know if I'm explaining this clearly. If you're not fluent, you won't go far in the future. Because if you're not fluent, your overall game is limited. Right, it all comes down to one word, fluency. A kid who loops fluently on both sides, never mind if the technique looks pretty or not. I'm telling you, in professional teams, as long as your technique isn't too exaggerated, as long as it's not too ugly, they basically won't force you to change it. What is fluency? It's not about 100 things. It's whether your loop is fluent. Is looping cross-court comfortable? The more fluent you are, the further you can go in the future, because with both sides and transitioning between them. Table tennis isn't just about the first 3 balls. It's not just about serve and attack. Right, a couple more. Watch the importance of the non-playing arms role. First, when you're driving, give a little from both sides. You never see anyone driving like this on TV. Many amateur players learn backhand like this. They learn it this way, right? Why is it hard to find the rhythm? I'm telling you, it's really related to this. If you just rest your hand here, this part becomes isolated. If you keep this side still, these two parts become independent. Then it's very hard to move like this. Many amateur learners, isn't their backhand just like this in college? Stiff, like a stick. The coach tells them to use their body. They try to use their body, but it still looks like this, right? Or they squat down, or do this. Right, or like this. Try adding this movement. You'll find the rhythm much easier, because your two sides become one unit. They connect to the body. Like this, they aren't connected to the body. This side is moving out alone. It's like two separate parts. This connects to the body. Look, it's connected. Like this, it's isolated. Also, can you find a rhythmic feeling like this? You can, of course. I'm not saying you can't. Sure, it's possible, but it's difficult. And it feels uncomfortable. Can I move like this for a couple? I can do this too. I can do this too. But it feels incredibly awkward, you know. If I hit 3 balls like this, it feels so unnatural. Watch, just lift it up bit by bit. Isn't this so much more comfortable? I'm at ease. Right, I'm coordinated, I'm relaxed, I'm fluent. If I do it the other way, it's super awkward. Understand now, so the non-playing arm is really important. Both sides, not just one side, both sides, work together. Project out from both sides together. Project out from both sides together. The higher the quality, the more the non-playing arm contributes. Higher quality, more contribution. Take a look at Ma Long's backhand. He's even more exaggerated. He practically does this. He practically does this, right? What's the principle? Isn't it this same principle? Your two sides are more coordinated and fluent. Left and right hands united and linked, right? But the prerequisite remains. First, get the body movement right, then add this. Don't try this before you have the body movement down. If this is the first time you heard and then went to the club the next day and started doing this, don't. The prerequisite is that you already have this foundation. You need to have this first. You need to have the body-arm connection first. After you have that connection, then you add this, add this. That won't work, then you're practicing wrong. Then don't say I taught you that. That's why we saved this topic for later. It's because we were focusing on hip drive before. Today, after you've mastered those basics, the underlying principle is still the hip drive principle. Once you have that, then you add this. Your overall coordination becomes much better, right? This lesson is advanced. And I think someone has talked about backhand, but for forehand, I don't think I've heard anyone explain forehand like this.